Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in. Welcome to this edition of the TikTok Happy Hour. TikTok Happy Hour is our webinar series where employees share about their work, their life, and also philosophies. My name is Raymond, and I'm from the Global PR team, and I'm very excited to be today's moderator. Today's session will be focused on sports content and partnerships on TikTok. And there's a lot of exciting work going on right now. So joining me today is Noelle and Mo, and they have been doing a lot of exciting work. So Mo, for example, has been sponsoring the Al Jazeera football club in the Middle East, and Noelle has onboarded, for example, FC Barcelona, La Liga, etc., and many more. So we have the opportunity to learn from them about sports marketing on TikTok, and they'll also be sharing more stories about kind of behind the scenes stories. And then, so without further delay, I think we can get started. So welcome Mo and welcome Noelle. Can I get you to briefly introduce yourself, please? Noelle?
Yeah, hello everyone, and thanks Raymond for the introduction. Thanks as well, Mo, for being here today with me to share experiences about the sports industry. So yeah, I'm head of operations for Latin America. I work with the Spanish-speaking markets for the region of Latin America, and I used to work as well for the Spain market. You know, I'm based out of Sao Paulo in Brazil, even though I'm from Spain. So yeah, I really enjoy working for TikTok in a different country, and working with so many colleagues from other markets. And yeah, I joined TikTok already 2.5 years ago. It's been a long run. We have been working with so many partners and football clubs and federations in the past. And really happy to see all the progress from these football clubs today on TikTok. Having like football clubs like Barcelona, for example, reaching over 6 million fans in the platform, and being the largest sports institution on TikTok in terms of followers. So yeah, really happy to be here today and to be sharing with you guys tips and experiences.
Thank you, Noelle. And Mo?
Well, hi, Raymond. Thank you for having me on this. And hi, Noelle. Always a pleasure seeing you, talking to you about sports and everything around TikTok and outside TikTok. My name is Mo, and I joined TikTok around 1.5 years ago, part of the operations for Middle East and North Africa, and I'm heading the sports. My personal and professional life has always been revolving around football and online innovation, which I combine both here at TikTok. As an avid football fan myself, I always believed life is football, and from there on, everything got explained and built around my personal or professional career. We've been working with a lot of great people and entities around Middle East or even from North Africa. Examples going through Saudi Arabia with Al Hilal Club, or Egypt for Al Ahli and Pyramids. And obviously for the UAE, our partners, which are like Al Jazeera Football Club and the AG League, the Arabian Gulf League, headed by the UAE Pro League.
Okay, well, thank you very much for the introductions, both. And so my first question is, so we know there's a lot of diverse sports content on TikTok, and football is definitely one of the most popular categories for TikTok. And so could you share a little bit more about your work in this area and how you're making this content more readily available for the users on the platform? Maybe Mo can start off first.
Okay, so athletes and talents and authorities all simultaneously, concurrently, we went to them, we went to the market, we started educating them about how and what TikTok can do for sports and how to use sports content on TikTok. Away from the cliche thing that everybody thinks is like sports is all about, which is like the highlights or the action highlights of games, goals, scoring moments and all. We took the whole market into an educational funnel away from these like cliche things. We started creating stories and innovative content, one video at a time, if I may say. with each creator, with each club, with each authority, and with each video, it started showing growth in the user base of a club or the fan base of a talent, and it started like acquiring new fans and bigger interactions for each. And from there on, it started like showing the whole region that sports is actually happening on TikTok. Sports can be used in innovative and creative way to actually reach more and bigger audience. And from there on, the whole like region started understanding what TikTok does in sports specifically. And we started like onboarding and talking to more clubs and more authorities, and creators started flooding into us. They want to actually express their creativity. They wanted to show their skills. They wanted to show us how innovative they are and be part of this big TikTok family.
Great, thank you. And Noelle?
So I would say that it's a very similar experience to what Mo is talking about, But I think that in Latin America or in Spanish-speaking markets, we put a lot of effort to explain to the football institutions as well to creators about the importance of short video format and video itself. Like it's the main consumption format from Generation Z, from millennials, and I mean everyone, even brands and institutions, they really need to masterize this format, if they want to grow and reach audiences and create, neurological responses on users, on memorability and emotional impact and so on. So I would say that that has been the first approach, like what is our role in terms of educating the industry. And then second, we have been probably, working three main pillars. One is like teaching partners how to create content, teaching them as well how to, connecting them with our creator network, because the creators already have a fan base, the creators already know the TikTok language, and obviously, they open doors for the football clubs and the football or sports institutions to explore other content verticals like gastronomy, like dancing, like animals, for example. So they don't feel short in terms of reaching audience. They have already other social media platforms where they engage with the fans, but TikTok is especially to engage with new fans, with new people who may become interested in football, or maybe they are not interested in football, but they start sympathizing for your club, so that's another thing. And the third thing would be internationalization. Like TikTok speaks the universal language, and when I say universal languages, I mean like TikTok speaks video, TikTok speaks music, and TikTok speaks as well sports, and these three languages are well understood by everyone in the whole world. So a football club in Argentina, no matter if it's not well known in the rest of the world, can create content with these three languages and can be, really famous, or can impact other people in KSA or in Turkey or in Vietnam. And following a little bit this narrative, we have made many football clubs to become known, in other markets. So that's something that they really appreciate from our platform.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing your insights on that. And so, so we hear that there's a lot of work being done from you both to onboard a lot of these sports clubs and everything. So can you share a little bit more about the backgrounds of some of these clubs that you're onboarding in your regions? Like there's some highlights. Maybe I guess Noelle, since we have you on that topic.
Yeah. So in terms of highlights, I would say we have been, we started to work first of all with federations. I think that federations have been helping us a lot in terms of, demonstrating the football clubs that TikTok was a platform for football. A part of, federations, they have the contact with the football clubs and they are a role model for them. Federations, normally they have a good community manager team and they explore innovation in digital much more often, I would say, at least in some of the leagues we have been working with. So one of the first institutions was La Liga. And as you know, La Liga is one of the top football leagues in the whole world. We started to work with them in 2019, and they have been really, willing to learn from us, willing to develop with us different projects and partnerships, and also really willing to onboard all the La Liga football teams on TikTok. In parallel, we were working as well with the Argentinian Football League, and the Argentinian Football League was really interesting because it became at some point the league with most number of football teams in our platform, which was really a huge achievement for us, because Latin America, in terms of adopting innovation and adopting social media innovation, has not been leading the way in the past for the social media platform. So we have been working with both leagues in parallel, and we have been creating really good success cases that were proving, that TikTok was a platform for them to stay and to create a long-term strategy. And I would say, as like the onboarding of football clubs like Real Madrid, Barcelona has been as well creating a lot of, discussions and debates in the market about TikTok becoming a platform for football clubs. So many mid-table football teams and mid-sized football teams and small teams from other divisions have been following that. The fact of joining TikTok after that.
Okay, lots of stuff going on for Spanish-speaking Latin America and Spain. And how about in the Middle East? Some backgrounds for some of the clubs that were onboarding there.
Well, here in the region, sports, and it has a lot of potential. And we actually looked into offering a platform that would allow clubs or entities to express their creativity and celebrate their existence on a platform that's offering them everything they haven't seen somewhere else. The region enjoys a unique structure when it is about each club. There's no rule how to talk to a club or how to address their needs. Every club, every entity has its own uniqueness, and we addressed it with a certain solution that involved obviously creativity and innovation. By the time I joined TikTok, Noelle was already there, and it was already Barcelona that joined TikTok at the time, and then the La Liga. This helped us a lot to actually showcase the whole region about big names like La Liga and Barcelona and how sports is actually happening. And then we slowly, as I mentioned earlier, video by video, one video at a time, we started creating that relation with clubs. And then we reached Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera club is known in the UAE as the pride of Abu Dhabi, the capital. And for now, it is the pride of TikTok sports in MENA region. That's how I like to call them now. It's a visionary club, great management, great people working day and night to reach new horizons. And for the records, their TikTok account now is the most followed account among any other online presence of theirs. And this is a proof of concept for everybody, how TikTok has exploded for them, and they are reaching a new fan base. The main important thing was obviously the commitment from their management. It was key, and everything else became super relevant. We also didn't approach Al Jazeera or any other club or work with them on the basis looking for a traditional sponsorship. We actually have a creative and innovative partnership that I want to call. It's not just like any other sponsorship. It starts with us in TikTok being part of the family of Al Jazeera Club. And this is moving forward towards new levels that haven't been explored by any other sports entity in Middle East or North Africa. This club, Al Jazeera, has big ambitions, and it wants to be closer to its fans. And together, we will grow the club and the fan base, and we will reach these new horizons.
Okay, great. So I think we're hearing a lot about FC Barcelona, Al Jazeera, and also La Liga. And so I think even from the PR side, I remember it's very exciting to work on these campaigns. When they were onboarding. So I guess for Noelle, when we're on this topic, then could you share a little bit more about kind of the highlights when you were maybe onboarding them, or did you encounter any challenges during the onboarding process that you could share with the audience?
Yeah, so I would say that when you work with big institutions like La Liga or Barcelona or Real Madrid, the first thing you need to know is you need to sell the platform very well, and then you need to understand what's TikTok potential, and then you need to express in numbers what's TikTok gonna become, because in the end, they are gonna be dedicating resources for a platform that they want to work in the long term, and they don't want to waste time and efforts, in terms of putting content in the platform if the platform later on is gonna be not growing enough. So for us, it has been a challenge in terms of showing them the whole time like the platform was growing, and also proving them at the same time that their content was growing and they were becoming top club in the world or top sports institution in the world on TikTok, and also showing them how other football clubs and sports institutions or other leagues were joining the platform. So it was a matter of building trust over time with them, and then when they started to see the potential, they started as well to become more involved and bringing players in and trying to increase their presence in the platform through the decentralization of their content. It's not only about having the football club account. It's also about having the athletes on TikTok or other type of content on TikTok representing the club, like the work they do with creators or creator content. So I would say that the challenge with Barcelona was proving them that, and also showing them that we have the Generation Z and the millennial audience, and they should be betting for us if they want to construct and acquire new fans for the future, because TikTok is a platform with very balanced in terms of male and female users, but we have as well many female users interacting with football content. So that was really interesting for them as well, to grow on that part. And as I mentioned before, the internationalization, like how Barcelona or La Liga can grow their brand in Asia or North America through their content without linguistic barriers. That has been a big trigger for success for them and for us.
Right. Okay. And that's so speaking to the common language that you were speaking about. And then for Mo, can you speak a little bit more about, for example, how are the clubs in the Middle East, like how are they using TikTok, whether it's to engage the audience or create content? Can you speak a little bit more to that and share with the audience?
Well, for all clubs in the region or outside, and Noelle is an expert here, they use their presence to show the score lines or like to produce these official news and announcements. Well, on TikTok, we worked hard with them to move away from that, where they started like showing their training sessions, some behind the scenes stuff happening, the skills of individual players, some of the big announcements, like big signings in an innovative way, creative ways to engage with the fans, as you mentioned. Engagement with the fans like proved working well on TikTok for football clubs, where now it's not just like a source of news or a channel for news for the club. It's about something the fans will not see anywhere else from their own club. And they also started to reuse actually their content to match the TikTok trends, while highlighting for example, the squad numbers or the squad players. They started becoming not just like another club or an account on TikTok. They became part of the community, sharing, for example, celebrations of a national day in Saudi Arabia. For example, you'll find Al Hilal having all their players, their management, sharing that celebration or congratulating the whole of Saudi Arabia about the national day on TikTok exclusively, because they are expressing their normal lives, their personal lives, not just like their sports life. They started adding faces to who's running the club. When you see like the CEO of a club doing a TikTok video to talk to the fans, that brings the distance closer between the fans and the club. You will only see the CEO, for example, talking to the news or to the news media on other platforms or to the traditional press. But on TikTok, they are addressing their fans, they are addressing their citizens, they are addressing everybody in the region, and they are not like even the athletes, but it's the club, the whole people behind the club, and the great efforts are like joining TikTok trends or actually creating their own trends. And this is what we can call and see and like challenges led by certain clubs in the region or outside, like we've seen outside with Juventus, for example, or what we are about to see with Al Jazeera, part of our partnership. There will be trends set by these clubs, which will bring them also closer to their fans and show the capability of TikTok and the innovation and the creative part.
Okay, and just I guess a question out of curiosity: you did you have the chance to meet the players or engage, interact with them on a regular basis? Like any interesting things that you can share?
Well, I had the chance, and I have met many players from our partners or other people or entities. Unfortunately, because of like the COVID-19 situation, it has been like on stall or like it's been halted now. What I can promise, and everybody who's watching or everybody who loves TikTok or Al Jazeera or other clubs, there will be like more interactivity between like their superstars and themselves as fans. The biggest names in the region, and we're fortunate most of them are with Al Jazeera Club. They will be like closer to the fans in person soon, or through like some innovative things we're working together with Al Jazeera to bring these stars to the fans directly.
Okay, thank you very much. And so Noelle, my next question for you is just to share a little bit. Could you share a little bit more about kind of the unique aspect of the Latin American market?
Yeah, so I mean, Latin America is a very special market, I would say, in terms of passion, for sports. You guys know, like, I don't know, you probably have seen or have watched, a football match in Argentina, Boca Juniors Stadium or River Plate Stadium. It's like you see the stadium really trembling, and you can that can really probably reflect the passion, football football fans have for this sport in the region. I think that it's really very similar to what we see as well in Turkey and other stadiums, Fenerbahce and Olympiacos in Europe, where fans are really engaging with the football team in the stadium and are singing and are standing there in the stadium and cheering for the club. And I would say that Latin America has in countries like Argentina, for example, 70% of the people are interested in football, and that's a huge advantage for us because when football teams join the platform, I would say that people know, like people really, get the notification or get the information that this football club has joined the platform, and they can decide if they join the platform to consume exclusive content or they continue just consuming the social networks from that the football team already has consolidated. But for us, we managed to grow as well, our fan base in terms of our user base in terms of football fans, because many of the football clubs were offering exclusive content for the users. In terms of Latin America, another special aspect from the region is the music, right? So when we talk about Latin music or reggaeton music or all the music that Latin American music contains, it has been one of the most emerging musics in the world. It has been growing around 17% year over year in terms of consumption. And we have seen, if you check the charts from platforms like TikTok, like Spotify, for example, you will see that Latin artists really, are ranking in the top 10. Like there are at least 3-4 Latin artists ranking in the top 10 of the most consumed music in the whole world. So for us, the usage of music with the sports has been a perfect combination for our users to create content, and also for football clubs. They could actually, just to put it from a different angle, because Mo was touching pretty much all the points in terms of what the football clubs are doing in the platform. During the pandemic, football clubs have been, recycling a lot of content. They didn't have the chance to be in the training field to record content, but they have been also working a lot with football players who were staying at home, and they were creating content for them. So the football players were sending the content to the football club. The football club was posting the content, and all this content was going along with music, and for some people who don't really know the football club or don't know the football player, the fact of listening to music that sounds familiar for them or is trendy right now was sort of refreshing the image of the brand, even though the video was probably 1 year old or few months old, you know. So music really renovates content, and in Latin America especially, it's a fact.
Yeah, thank you. And for Mo, can you share a little bit more about what you think are kind of the unique aspects of the Middle East market?
Sure. MENA, the Middle East and North Africa, is like a gold mine full of creativity. There are like a lot of gems waiting to be discovered and introduced to the world. And as Noelle was saying, some were like explored or like discovered through TikTok. Along with this rich, diversified culture that MENA enjoys, where like each country composing this MENA spectrum has its own uniqueness as a culture. The culture, the diversity, and the creativity, if combined, it will make MENA a leading creative hub more than just like a consumption container of content. I believe there's like a big uniqueness in the culture, and it's like found its right place in TikTok to be discovered and to take it to the world.
Got it. Thank you. And so my next question is: so we've had a lot of we heard a lot about the work that you've been doing in onboarding the different clubs and also different athletes. So I guess when it comes to the athletes, can you talk a little bit more about the kind of successful the athletes that you onboarded have been successfully using TikTok? I guess Mo, maybe you can continue on that.
Actually, there are like a lot of creators and athletes who joined TikTok, and they started to outgrow their presence on any other platform. They started to become more known, or actually well known, and now they are like the focus of the media coverage and the media outlets in the region. I can name a lot of these, but I'll just like summarize it as it starts on TikTok. Even if you are like an athlete in a certain sports, even away from football itself, TikTok has like exposed your talent to the whole world, and you will be known for your talent through TikTok because of the regional reach that you're getting and because of your creativity. I will leave like naming some names for later on. For now, all I can say, yes, we have a lot of success stories based on individuals away from clubs or entities. People on athletes actually on TikTok are being discovered and are becoming the news itself, especially in UAE, Saudi Arabia, and in Egypt.
Okay, and Noelle, how about from your side?
So yeah, I would say that you know, TikTok is a huge opportunity for athletes because TikTok is rewarding the content itself. So the same story, you know, as when we work with micro influencers who join TikTok and they grow really a lot in our platform and they become, you know, top influencers. It's if you are a football player or you are an athlete, any other athlete, you know, if you know how to understand how TikTok audiences are consuming content and you know how to make a good usage of music and so on, you may become you know, TikTok might become your first priority platform in really few weeks. So that's the case of some of our, you know, athletes, but also the case of many artists and many actors who are, you know, like not that big in other social media platforms, but they understand the TikTok language. They know how to communicate with Generation Z, with millennials. They know how to create content, paying attention to a powerful storytelling. So I would say that we are seeing more athletes. Sometimes we are mapping, you know, the athletes in the platform. We find a lot, like they don't get in touch with us when they join the platform sometimes, but we find many of them and we try to contact them and we try to explain them how to create content on TikTok to improve their content and you know, experience in the app. And yeah, I would say that there are many good cases that yeah, for sure Mo has many good cases in mind right now in terms of good content. But I would say that those who are really engaged in terms of music and dancing and as well, you know, comedy and you know, I would say, yeah, that those are the ones who are really, you know, growing a lot.
Okay, and so what is your personal favorite athlete's account on TikTok?
Yeah, so I would say there are two athletes I onboarded with my team to TikTok. The first one is Sergio Ramos. Sergio Ramos was one of the first football players to join TikTok. It was a big acquisition for us back in the day. I really like Sergio Ramos in terms of he's able to mix trendy music, trendy sounds with sports, with football. So he conserves, like he maintains his identity in terms of, okay, I'm a football player. I'm not here only to create X content or a mix of content with everything. I will stick to football. Football is my DNA, and I will build everything I produce on TikTok out of football. So he's one of my favorite athletes on the platform, and he's already over 4 million followers in less than a year. And the other one, probably because I recall it with a lot of affection, is James Rodriguez. And James Rodriguez is basically because he has a lot of impact in the Latin region. He's one of the top 5 most influential football players in the world in terms of social media fans. Probably after Neymar, Messi, and Ronaldo. And I really like it because he's very, every Colombian user in Latin America follow, any social media user in Colombia follow James Rodriguez. It's like Colombians are really emotionally attached to James Rodriguez. Like, even if he plays for Real Madrid or for Everton, the whole Colombia will be paying attention to what Everton is doing in the Premier League or what Real Madrid is doing, So, and any news you may read in the newspaper in Colombian sports, they always have something to say about James Rodriguez. So for us, it was a huge acquisition in terms of bringing to the platform a big athlete. But for us, I would say it was as well, cultural symbol acquisition for the whole region.
Thank you. And how about for Mo? What's your personal favorite athlete account?
So if I start to name names, like I'll miss out on many because I have a lot of favorite, and I'll keep surprise here. I'll keep away from football players. I'll choose one Emirati guy called Walid Yari. He's into fitness, and this guy joined the platform some months ago. He's outgrown his presence again on any other platform. Committed, creative. He's leading certain trends in the region, and he's actually being part of other trends. He's being like what we say, a key opinion leader in what he's doing, whether it's fitness, whether it's fashion, music, dancing, memes. He's doing everything. He's enjoying life on TikTok and showing the world how life on TikTok can be enjoyable. And of course, he's benefiting from it. I'll also highlight another favorite one, also an Emirati guy called Omer Saeed. He's a wakeboarder, an extreme wakeboarder. He's part of Red Bull Athletes team in the region. And now after he joined TikTok and he showed commitment, and he actually customized his content to create certain trends on TikTok or to ride certain trends. And as of now, he's become one superstar in the region because of TikTok. I can say that proudly. And I'll also highlight a female influencer. She's all about football. She analyzes football and all. And in the region, when you are a female and you're talking football, you're not taken seriously, unfortunately. This lady is called Naba Al-Dabbar, and she goes by the name I Speak Football Only. That's her handle. She created an identity for herself. Again, she outgrew all her other social presences or online presence. And now she's enjoying life on TikTok as one of the most influential people who talks about football in the region, especially that, again, she's a female. Those would be the 3 I need to highlight. I can't say all of them, but basically these 3 would do it for now.
Right, so a lot then. Okay, I guess, and then how about for athletes who are not yet on TikTok and that you think would be a good fit for the platform? Who would that be for you?
I'll call out one name, Mo Salah, the Egyptian superstar who's playing now with Liverpool. He's a perfect fit for the platform. and hopefully he will be soon enjoying life on TikTok too.
Okay. And how about for Noelle? What would that be?
Well, Raymond, I'm gonna say one that I think that you really like, because you really like tennis, and you know, it's also from my country, and he's a huge icon for the sports in general, not only for tennis and also for Spain. So Rafa Nadal would be amazing to have
Yes,
it on the
definitely. Oh my God, we have to get him on. When is that going to happen?
Yeah, I think that this will happen soon. You know, he represents really well the values of sports. You know, his honesty and humbleness, and you know, I think that he has a lot of potential as well to create good content, because he's surrounded as well by very, you know, many creative people, and also he's playing tennis, and that's a sport that, you know, we have seen that people like, you know, where in our platform. So yeah, let's try to put a date, Raymond, to acquire Rafa Nadal, maybe, you know, before the end of the year.
All right, that sounds exciting. I mean, personally, for me, I really like his, you know, his fighting spirit, and also his positivity. So yeah, very exciting. And I think we have time for one last question. So before we end today's session, could you describe life at TikTok in one word? So who wants to go first?
I think that I will go. I can go first, Mo, with you. But I think that the groundbreaking for me would be, you know, would be the word that describes my experience on TikTok. You know, it has been, you know, working here has been a very pioneering experience in terms of developing things that not other, you know, other partners or players in the industry or platforms were doing. We were betting for a very unique way of creating content. We were probably, you know, making people feel really true to themselves, and show the best version of themselves, and not be ashamed of creating content. So the fact of, you know, I would say groundbreaking or pioneering, because yeah, we are changing the culture of Generation Z and millennial in terms of consuming content. And especially because we had a very important role during the pandemic, and we are still having a very important role during the pandemic, for not only for Generation Z and millennials, also for older generations that, you know, they will never expect to join TikTok a year ago. So yeah, I would say that that would be the word. And also in terms of my personal experience, you know, seeing the team growing so fast, growing with such a talented people, and being connected as well to people the whole time, you know, because I'm in contact with Mo, which is who's based in the Middle East. I am in touch as well with people across the globe, like Raymond, which is, you know, in Canada, and he's traveling the whole time. So talking with people across different time zones, that's great, you know. And I really believe that the secret of growing this platform is also, you know, the great connection we have among us, you know, in terms of working internationally, and being able to find a way to grow the app. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Very, very global for sure. Working across a variety of teams. And so for Mo, what would that one word be for you?
If I want to choose one word, unprecedented. Throughout my whole years of experience, I haven't seen or met or worked in a place like TikTok, and I'm blessed to be here. I thought I've seen it all before I came here, but actually I'm seeing like new things that I doubt I'll find anywhere else, or I'll experience anywhere else. As Noelle mentioned, it's about also the people, the culture, the innovation, the creativity, how it's bringing its people together, and how it's bringing the world also together, like users or like internal employees. Things here at TikTok are unprecedented again. I want to highlight the same word, and it is different than anything else you would ever imagine. With the pace we work at, with what we're offering the world during the pandemic or before, or hopefully soon, how we're bringing people closer together, how we're making people heroes of their own domain. It's just enjoyable, and hope we can offer more in this unprecedented culture and content.
Yeah, totally agree. And I think we're always like learning a lot of stuff. Every day we're being exposed to many new and exciting things. So yeah, that basically concludes. I think that's all the time we have for today, and it concludes today's session. So I'd like to thank both of you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to share the insights with us in the audience. And also like to thank the audience for tuning in today's session. We hope you enjoyed today's edition of the TikTok Happy Hour, and see you next time.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.